Good afternoon. The time is 12:11 p.m. August 28th, 2025. So I got zapped, blasted with more chemical weapons. It has not stopped here. You can tell by my voice, the skin, my complexion. I have blurred vision, and when it gets really bad with some of the chemical gas weapons, these are gases like the ones I saw downstairs that are yellow. Remember that? Thank you for remembering that. The yellow fog downstairs. Yes, sir. So some of these gases cause dental bleeding. Some do not, okay? All of these gases have the effect on me of racing to the bathroom and going diarrhea, just out of control, where I'm using 20 times more toilet paper, 20 times more toilet paper than a regular person does. How do I know that? Because I never experienced this until I entered into the property of 1509 S Street Northwest, Washington, D.C., a good 15 minutes, not any longer, on foot. You're taking a walk, 15-minute walk from the White House, and that's if you're going leisure. You're traveling at a nice, calm, regular pace. If you're rushing, you can probably get down there in about 10. So good morning, Donald fucking Trump. How's your police takeover? I told you I need more toilet paper. Bring that EO here so I can wipe my ass with it. And thank you, Mexican military. Thank you. Muchos gracias. Before your president, who was Vladimir Putin, and Iranian Ayatollah's big mouth, just like Donald Trump is their big mouth, Saudi Arabian big mouth. Thank you, muchas gracias, Mexican military. When you finally put me into office, that $15 billion from this drug lord who was getting a fake trial in an enemy territory. New York State is enemy territory. Don't forget that. We don't. The good military, we know. When your fake trial's over, you're right. Because there's no viable government down the street. So Mexican military, that $15 billion is going straight down to your poor. You know it. Remember all my letters? Dear migrants. Dear migrants, do you remember? Gracias. You do. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. We're taking all of Roosevelt's, Teddy. We're taking all of, I can't remember. Sorry, I've been gassed too much. Both of the Roosevelts. Theodore is my favorite, so I remember him. And then I'm so embarrassed, but it's all black. It's just what happened with the gray matter of my brain after being so traumatized. Year after year, I'm still in here getting gassed. I just got gassed again, but I don't want to disgust and gross out the public with details of racing to the bathroom, going diarrhea, because we know that's what happened again. Dose, 2 times, back and forth, back and forth. I was so freaking pissed off. All right. Anyways, thank you, Donald Trump. Bring your EO and wipe my ass with it personally yourself. No, that's kind of perverted. It's kind of perverted. It was really just a metaphor, people, a metaphor. I don't want a man that close to my family jewels, don't worry, unless I'm freaking married, okay? I'm a Christian woman. I'm not your average American whore. Back to the Mexican military. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Yes, that $15 billion from the drug lord who caused all this havoc on S Street, all this havoc in my country, all this havoc in Russia, and all this havoc in Europe because of the Western countries' drug habits and their lust and their sin for dinero, for money. Capitalism, your capitalism, if left at a free will cause barbarianism and tribalism, and that's all that we're having anymore across the Western democracy capitalist nations. Capitalism Democracy was used to overthrow us, okay, by neo-Nazi men in the military. They set this up and organized it since the 60s from the United States. It was very, very calculated, very intended, and it was kicked into action on a presidential level by the president named Bill Clinton. At that point in time, he brought in your lovely Middle Eastern terrorists, which is what and everything you see today, okay? I know I'm not being clear, but I have done due diligence as much as I could under this kind of terrorism, domestic terrorism, that I possibly could to explain it to the public for a good 6 years. I have been in this terrorist cell for 6 years. I couldn't really cover all of the details, but I got the public to understand enough of it. Okay, so by the time 2017 came and Donald Trump was not aware of the planned attack on U.S. bases. No, that guy was not aware of that. But Flynn was, and other men in the military were. Duh, of course they were. And there was good guys, all right? The very same commandos that protect my life in here to this very day. They were under attack by definition for 2 years before Donald Trump stepped into office, okay? They knew that their military members were straight up opening fire on them on their bases. They were being attacked by other military members within and amongst their own ranks. There's nothing gray or confusing about it. It's black or white. You're either pregnant or you're not pregnant. You're either in peace and peacetime or you're not. You're in wartime. There's no in the middle confusing this. All right. Today I can go online. Yes, you're hearing the garage door. Yes. But I cannot talk about anything I've been witnessing in this compound. It has left me ever since I made my last public statement on the internet. This terrorism going on here, this indescribable, historic, violent terrorism that goes on S Street, 15 blocks. I'm sorry, I misquoted. 15-minute walk from the United States President's office. This violent, historic terrorism has left me, in terms of speech, sideways and upside down 24 hours a day with my jaw on the floor. I cannot talk one word about the mail, this house, the violent terrorism in the backyards, next door, either any of the row houses. I witnessed it all. It is so historic what I witnessed. And then I, of course, witnessed the good guys. But folks, it doesn't change. I can't tell you anything. You have to come and stand on the corner, and they're not hard to miss. Okay? All right. All right. As far as what Donald Trump is doing in your papers, you have eyes, you can read. Yeah. With the Capitol, okay? I cannot make comments on that. All I can say is there's a very, very, very big and strong military presence that knows he's a violent, white, supremacist terrorist who aids, harbors, and abets big time foreign terrorists and absolutely, violently, criminally insane domestic terrorists on S Street. I, Heidi Granger, am a direct witness to Donald Trump's terrorism. This also includes Biden. What I witnessed in this property during Biden's presidency, I'm a witness to it. This is basic law 101. The chemical weapons have not stopped here. They are huge. Remember what I said about how they go multiple hours, stuff and things? All I'm allowed to say is it hasn't stopped. Okay, the DBs, the explosive weapons devices. I can't talk about the DBs I can make a comment about the explosive weapons devices. They've gotten out of control. They're being brought in a good amount. I can say this, it's clear, from the countries of Ukraine and from the countries of Russia. Vladimir Putin, neo-Nazi, white supremacist Russians. They're also backed by Iranian Russians. They're Russian nationals. They've been packing this place, I'm a direct witness to it, to very high-tech chemical explosive weapons. And when they're not doing it, all of this National Guard, which has been on my account for multiple years, and Washington, D.C. Police Department take their place when the Ukrainian and the Russian nationals within those countries' militaries are not here. So this is why I've been offline. Okay, remember the ripples in the water? I can't make it. Remember when I said I'm a woman? Does this make sense to you now? When you look at what's happening in DC and you hear everything I said before, and I said the place gets pancaked, and I said nukes go off in my country, where does a woman fit in here? Not one like me, there's a few. And remember what I said about the girls who roll with the special ops, that they're worth their weight in gold? Does this make sense now that I'm not one of them? No, I've been offline hiding for my life in my room, and I'm allowed to say that, and there's a valid reason for it. But I can't say one word of what I've been witnessing. All right. Okay. The hot bombs here are packed. Now, I can't say where, but OMG. The combat here, I can talk about. I hear it. I don't want to get into specific times, but it's like in a general sense of the meaning, 24 hours a day inside of the property of 1511 S Street Northwest. Big combat where I question if something has been imploded or if somebody went down. Now, I've seen and heard that here in this property, and that is why I say what I say, because I have hands-on life experience in this. Now, folks, remember, I'm no baby at this. And when I say that I personally am hiding for my life in my room, you can get a grasp, an understanding of how skilled and trained the women who ride with the special ops are. They're not me, but they're worth their weight in gold. And what's going on S Street, honestly, female combat service members don't have a role here. It's not a role, R-O-L-E, that they can play here. Not one of them. No girls can really survive this shit. I can say this, it's the highest trained commando military members, men, guys, that have been here saving my freaking life night and day. They're holding the Capitol down, and we have, all of us, control over the jets and the helicopters. But I can't say when, and I can't say anything. So you're going to have to piece it together, but just know that. It's been a while. Okay, that's all I can say. They're not going to get the jets. These warcraft vessels are Donald, are Putin. They are Saudi Arabia. They were sent out, dictated to Donald to send out to Venezuela. It is not good. It is incredibly dangerous. There's a whole invasion plan to that. Our good guys, just to give you some clarity, a lot of them are Russian military, but they're allied, okay? They're not neo-Nazi, they're not white supremacists, they don't have terrorist camps by any prime minister's office or presidential office. They don't function in government like that. They're respectable, professional people. They're not criminal. They don't engage in war crime. Okay. Our good military will be bombing the living shit out of Russia. When I say they need to be depopulated, they will be. Our good military will be bombing the living shit out of Eastern Europe. When I say the Russian, Eastern, Ukrainian mob took the United States, Europe, and Russia basically over. These are terms of speech, but it's backed up by military, okay? This is my civilian terminology. I'm basically, in a lot of ways, a civilian. When I say they took it over, they did. It's been 8 years, folks. You think they couldn't? Okay, this is why I think the Mexican military, they've got that president, that woman president, surrounded. Those kind of statements that come out of her ugly, disgusting mouth are the good guys. And yes, Mexican military, yes, you will be getting that money, and it will be going to your poor. And no, she gets executed. She is like Donald. She is like Macron over in Europe. You understand how this is working. She is like all these ridiculous in the last 8 years prime ministers out of Britain. Do you realize how unstable these governments have been from the beginning and how they could be manipulated and just dissolved? Well, here you go. Here's your democracy. Here's your capitalism. And here's what happened. You can't have a stable, secure nation like that. No, your heads were in the clouds. Okay, so now we have these tyrants like Macron, Trump, all of it, putting vessels by Venezuela. You can read the paper, so I don't want to spend a lot of time because I'm in a rush on this video. And it's really, really serious. Look at the Capitol. It's bad. It's scary. It's the feeling you have when you see, I can't talk about it. Remember, I can't make one comment about what's happening in this city. But the feeling you have when you see this happening in your country is so dark, so bewildering, and so scary, because these men are all weapons. These men are waiting to get their hands on jets. And these men are sending out, they're all over the Capitol right now. These very men of Donald Trump's, it would have been Biden if he was in office. It's going to be either one of them. They're both being charged for terrorism, and they're both being charged for treason. These men sending out military vessels to Venezuela are out to kill people, folks. You know how I feel in here, but I can't fucking make one comment about what's happening in the damn city I'm sitting in. So sorry, you have to read the paper. I'm being protected by beneficial military. I'm not fucking confused about that. I need to stop cussing. So when you see anything that's happening with Ukraine, the Russian military, it's so good. That is the same guys that protect my life in here. At the point in time when they bomb Russia, and they have it coming, and it's depopulated, it's going to be the U.S. You're going to know this, and there's going to be U.S. folks like me and good allied forces. I don't know who. This is their department. They'll inform me who's going to be representing their countries to tell the public what is going on. At that point in time, you'll see countries of Israel, Russia, China, Britain, British police, British military. Yes, there's some of the people who saved my life. So on and so forth. Okay, our allied forces. All right. The press, as everyone has figured out, works for Iran, works for Putin. They're not ever going to tell you anything that's happening. They work for Trump. They work for Biden. It's just how it works. Okay? All these mass shootings, all these explosions, that explosion in that factory in Louisiana. Please remember what I said. I am up to 20 minutes. I really do need to go. Okay? Because I honestly am just covering the same material that I've been covering for 8 years if you look at what I've just said. But it needs to be said again. This is why the good guys who are holding down the Capitol right now from these barbaric men, and this is why the good guys who have control over the war jets, they have control over the helicopters, stuff and things like that. This is why they're not addressing the public. Do you understand my account has been kept up on the internet by a freaking military force? That is why, for one, I get like one view. But that is why they haven't just wiped me off the face of the earth. And I'm still walking through so much chemical gases. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. And the combat I'm witnessing. So I'm going to go, okay, folks? There's more I could discuss, but it needs to be like a lightning bolt and some light in the dark. Loud, fierce, and suddenly, and you don't forget it, and you know what just happened, and you're not going to forget it, okay? It might be the same material that I just covered again, but don't forget it, okay? I don't know when I'm going back online. Have a good day. Goodbye.